at the Tea Talk Caregiver 101. Today's topic is stress. Okay, I hope everybody day is going well. I have this tea today. It is kombucha tea. It is bayou berry infused with strawberry and honeysuckle. This is a tea that's found in the cold section in stores. Now, this tea, as you can see, the carbonation is just on the floor. It's sort of like a flavored water. It's very carbonated. Wow. Okay, I got this about this tea that's very interesting. It tastes sort of like a flavored water with carbonation, but this is not the best tea that I'll probably be buying. So that is the truth there. All right, let's get started with the topic of stress today. I've been going up and down on Facebook, and I'm a part of a lot of caregivers support groups, and I've been seeing a lot of posts about caregivers being stressed, about seeking questions and answers, what to do, how they feeling, and things are sort of like that. So let's start with the definition of stress. What is stress? So I wanted to go with Webster definition of stress, which is a state of mind or emotional strain or tension resulting from an adverse or very demanding circumstances. So I wanted to talk about the definition of stress before we get to the topic. This was a hard one for me because I talked on some of my other posts about my daughter having behavior challenges in school. And I kind of wrote down what are some of the reasons that caused me stress when she was growing up. My biggest one was I felt like nobody understood. It's so easy for people to judge or prejudge you in a situation that they've never been. It's people with normal children, I would use the word, but we all know being a caregiving or taking care of someone with diagnosis, there is really no real definition of normal. What is normal? And so I just felt a lot of days like I felt like misunderstood. I felt like the elephant in the room. I felt like everybody was always talking about me, how I was handling my daughter or the situation. I just felt like nobody understood me. As I look back today, I'm very grateful that I see a lot of support groups for caregivers. A lot of churches have support for caregivers. I mean, if you look around for resources and find support groups in your area, that can help feeling like nobody understands you or like you all alone. A number 2 item on my list that caused me stress is trying to be super mom. Trying to be at her school, trying to be at work, trying to be at church, trying to be at counseling appointments, trying to be at her doctor's office. I tried to be all these places at the same time. I used to say a joke. I wish it was 2 or 3 of me. Then I could handle everything and I'll be able to attend everything. And that I felt like I was overwhelmed with my schedule. Now, as I look back on that, knowing what I know today, in my field of being an advocate, scheduling is everything. You gotta work. You gotta look at your work schedule. You gotta prioritize. You gotta, put your work hours in. Have a good calendar, a working calendar, where you got your appointments, counseling appointment, doctor visits, appointment with the teachers. You are good as your schedule is. So if I look back on it, I realized I wasn't good at scheduling back then, or we would just call it time management. Number three on my list is resources. I didn't know the resources. I had to hit rock bottom to go talk to someone, talk to counseling, to research on Google to try to see what was out there where I could get my daughter help. Now it's a little different because we've seen a lot of deaths with celebrities where they killed themselves, talk about depression and how stress and everything correlates. So now it's more resources out there. So it's a lot of conversations that wasn't happening at the schools back then that are on front line that schools and counselors and people are talking about now. So it was a short in resources, but now I look back, now, I probably would have did my research, went on support groups, went and talked to my churches, went and talked to the schools. So it's a lot of things I would have did differently now that I know. But back then, I didn't know the resources existed. So that was another thing of my stress. Number fourth on my list was safety. I was always worried. What if she get in trouble in school? What if she get on the wrong bus? What if she skips school? What if the police pick her up and things like that? Because my daughter was very cognitive high. It was just some issues regarding her social and emotional things like that. So that made a difference of where she ended up on the spectrum. Some people hit right in the middle where they're not even high or low on a cognitive, but they're in the middle. So, and people wouldn't diagnose them with any diagnosis because they are cognitive high. The people that get the most help are the people are low on the cognitive side, are low on the social emotional side. My daughter always ended up right in the middle of the spectrum, which made it hard to reach out for resources and made it hard to qualify for programs. Another one on my list was I cared about what other people thought about me. I cared about what people thought of what type of parent I was, how I felt like if I was doing things right, or if I hear somebody say, oh, look at Shalette, look at her daughter, look what's going on, look how Shalette handling the situation. That was a lot that really contribute to a lot of stress because I was always worried about what if my daughter out in the community, if somebody see her acting out, if we're in the store, what if she just fall on the floor, what if she just start crying, a lot of what ifs about it. And now I look back is that why should I care about what people think about me? It's about what I think about me. And what God say about me is the things I should be concerned with, not what the world think about me. Because guess what? What the world care about, what the world think about me, I shouldn't have cared what they thought about me, and that added a lot of stress. Even when I go to work, talking to my supervisor, my boss is like some of the issues that I have. So just in case I need to leave early, get off work, or take a day off. So those was a lot of challenges I had to endure. The school system really wasn't, cooperative with me. The counselors, the teachers, and things like that. When my daughter really was at her peak of behaviors, the school didn't even call me and say, you know what, she wasn't there. We haven't seen her. She wasn't in homeroom. I had to go up there and ask, like, what's going on? I'm confused. She leave here every day in the morning. If she don't come to school a certain amount of time, being a school or a place where children come, I was just shocked that they didn't reach out to the parents. That was very challenging for me. I just felt upset, and it's like, excuse me, I care about education. I have a degree. I am concerned. So when my daughter don't come to school, you guys need to reach out to me and make me aware so I'll know how to handle the situation. Let's talk about another thing on my list is I want to talk about rock bottom. Before you get to rock bottom, before you get so stressed out, before you start making bad decisions because you feel like nobody understands, I would recommend getting some help. Call out to your church for counseling. Call for free counseling programs, or go to clinics or get rated to talk to someone. Because I'm tired of going on Facebook watching posts where caregivers harm themselves or the child they're taking care of. Because they really hit rock bottom. They really tired. They feel like nobody understands. Where that before they was at that rock bottom place, they was depressed and they didn't reach out to no one. Nobody in their circle didn't reach out to them. Being a caregiver is hard. Being a caregiver is so stressful. It is. But you have to be able to have a good circle. And if it's not a good circle, family, have some support set up. So before you feel like you started drowning, somebody can help reach and grab you. I just remember a whole lot of nights crying. When I hit rock bottom, it was scary for me. I noticed I started sleeping with the light on. I noticed I started sinking in a light depression. And it was a lot of things that I had to do, which it forced me to look into counseling when I was going to college. And I was in counseling for a lot of years, trying to seek out help, because you have to know when it's the time that you need somebody else's help and not just your own help. And I know this is very hard. And I was just thinking about some of my decisions that I could have made differently if I reached out to someone before I got to this point. Before depression, before rock bottom, saying, what should I here go a number to a support group where they meet on Tuesday that you could go and talk about it. You could get them feelings off the table. You could get how you feeling. You could scream in the middle of the floor and they're going to give you tissues and they're not going to judge you. And that makes a lot of difference in people's life. That you feel like you're not alone. So I want to encourage people, leave comments down below. Please subscribe and like as well. And just write your comments of some of the stressful things that you encounter being a caregiver regarding your family or at work. I worked in some providers where I dealt with people with multiple diagnoses, whether depression, schizophrenia, and other things was incorporated, that it caused a lot of stress because this person was screaming for 24 hours and we didn't know what to do. I'm telling you, we was at work for 12 hours and we would raise our hand and give a high five, and the next person go on shift to give support to the staff while dealing with the individual screaming for hours. Imagine how it felt going home and try to deal with your family, how to deal with your children. And imagine me going home with my daughter had some challenging behaviors. My blood pressure was high and I was always stressed out. How can you help your staff members with stress? What are some some tips that you could give your staff members. If you're starting to see they coming in, if you start to see they're not themselves, if you're starting to see a difference with them, 6 months ago and now. Do you pull them in an office, say, hey, what's going on? Do you want to take advantage of your PTO time? Do you want to take some time off, and care about them, hear about them? Because being a caregiver is really stressful. Being staff. I remember just being staff and not a part of a management team. How I felt being stressed, working at them agencies and a group home when I'm going into a situation where this person gonna physical aggress, or they're gonna just be verbal aggress and holler and scream and call me names for 8 hours. That gets to a person. But, one of the things I would suggest is being a caregiver in an agency, take your days off. I know that overtime is there. Take the days off for self-love, self-care, exercise, eat healthy, go to your doctor's appointments, care about yourself. Go get your feet done. Go get massages. It's a lot of things being a caregiver that you have to be able to take care of yourself, and self-love should always be first on your days off. Pampering yourself. Going out with your family, enjoying your children on your days off, instead of saying, oh, it's this overtime out there, I gotta go get all the overtime, my family needs this and we need to do this. Instead of take care of yourself, because when you take care of yourself, you could take care of your family better, and you could be a better caregiver for your children at home, or taking care of your family in the home. So I would encourage self-care, taking your days off, going to a support group, going to a church or organization that pour into you, that make you want to be a better caregiver, that makes you want to be a better person, or going into more development classes. Go to personal development classes. They were teaching on the proper way of caregiving, the do's and don'ts of caregiving, being a part of Facebook support groups of caregivers is a number one where you could go on the board and just talk about your feelings, like, I feel sad today, I feel happy today. So again, I would say thank you for watching. Please continue to tune in to other episodes of Tea Talk Caregivers 101. And thank you for watching again. Please like and subscribe and share. Peace.